Hey, g'day guys, it's Adam with another trip ready review, and today we're going to be checking out the BUSHWAKKA Extreme Darkness 270-degree awning. We're going to check out all of its features. We're going to do a timed setup and pack down. I'm going to share my thoughts after using it on the obligatory 3 trips for the review, and then we'll finish up with some quickfire pros and cons. So stick around, let's get started. Now, a couple of quick things with this video. One, if you are watching on YouTube, there will be some chapters down below that you can skip ahead to any part of the review if you need to. 2, links to the best and cheapest places that I've been able to find. You can pick one of these up for yourself. Will also be linked in the video description. And 3, be sure to check out the channel for more videos just like this one. Now, as far as dimensions go on this guy, they do come in at about 2.3 meters in length. It's about 18 centimeters in height and about 15 centimeters in width. And it also comes in at about 31 kilograms. And as far as what you get everything that you're going to need to get this guy installed. You get all the pegs, all the tie down points, the ropes, everything you need, as well as the brackets that are there to attach to your roof rack. They are quite a sturdy design, and they probably could use some better powder coating, but we'll get into that a little bit later when we are looking at the pros and cons. But outside of that, that's about all she wrote. I reckon from here, let's switch cameras. Let's go over into first person mode and let's get this guy all set up. So let's start the clock and let's open it up. Right, so as far as to set the thing up, it is pretty straightforward, similar to any other awning really. Now, the best thing about this is it is fully freestanding. So in everything other than, you know, when it gets super windy, this thing will stand up by itself, which is pretty cool. So I just like pulling everything down there. All the straps are already in play. And then you've got these really cool ratchet straps that you can pretty much then just walk the thing around like we can do here. Still got these pretty well set up from last time, but gives you a bit of an idea. I just connect up to there, ratchet the thing tight like that, and then come back around the other side. Easy one-man job, this one, or one-woman job, or one-person job, however you want to call that. And then we just come all the way around like a big bat wing, and then we just find a spot to hook this thing up on the side. Got my Max Tracks on here, so a little bit different to normal. But then that is pretty much it. We might actually pop you on the top here, I think, just to get a bit of height. And then that's stop the clock. That's pretty much it. So they are super easy to set up. There is a couple of poles and that kind of thing that we'll have a look at in just a minute. But as you can see, it gives stacks and stacks of space and cover underneath, especially when the sun's beaming down. So I reckon from here, let's get back over to the main camera and let's have a look at all of its features. All right, so now that we are all set up, let's have a bit of a look-see. You can see that it is quite a big awning, and it goes from the D-Max pretty much right at the front here, and then all the way down, well past the tailgate, and out even further. So from a camping perspective, it is excellent because if, like me, you cook on your tailgate, if you are in a dual cab or a wagon or anything like that, you're still nice and undercover there, and that works an absolute treat. Now, as far as the canvas quality is, a really good quality ripstop canvas there. So you can see as well in the frame, if we have a bit of a closer look in here, it is their endo frame, and this thing is super solid. It is full stainless construction, as you can see in there, and is rock solid all the way along. You've got this big backbone all the way along here, all out of alloy as well, and then the big stainless hinges as well. So that makes loads of difference when it comes to flex and strength in the light winds. Now, while it is a full freestanding, they do recommend if the wind gets up, it's worth putting a couple of poles down. I've got a couple of extra poles on this one, but they work really easily. They just pull out there. You don't have to keep these separate or anything like that in some of the other types of awnings. And then they just push down and then lock into place by twisting just like that. When I'm out and about, I normally try and put just one of them down on the leg just to give a little bit of extra support here to the hinge, just in case the wind does get up. And then on the outsides, on all of the corners, you'll see there is plenty of little tie down points and eyelets here on all of the halfway marks, you do have these little tie down points, and they're really helpful for rain gutters, because when you pull them down, you can see there, it gives that nice V for any rain to run off, and they can be pegged down straight down to the ground. Now, one of the other features that this thing comes with that I reckon more awnings should is this business here. Check it out. You've got some LED lights built in to the actual frame, which is awesome. And there's 2 of them on this particular awning, and they are individually switched here as well, like you can see. So all they have is these little DC plugs here. They plug straight in there, just a little bit like that. You then just have a cigarette lighter plug here that you can hardwire if that suits you. We'll just plug it into our store mod here to fire it up. There we go, we've got a light on. And then from here, it's just a matter of coming around and boom. And then you can see we've got our orange there as well. You can sort of got a few different colors you can play with. Removes the need of, I've forgotten my lights. I need some walking around with a torch because you've forgotten your main lights, that sort of stuff. The beauty of those is they're always with you and you're never gonna forget it and be stuck in the dark while you're on a trip. Now I reckon from here, let's get this other pole out. Let's get it down, and that way we will be ready to go, because I reckon we come over here, we've got a couple of different walls. We've got 2 of the 3 of the walls. I'm going to get these walls installed and then show you what it's like when all of this section is all nice and enclosed. And here we go. This gives you a bit of an idea of just how much space you get in here. Just got a couple of bits and bobs from a sort of a standard camp setup. When you come right back into the corner here, you still have stacks and stacks of room and plenty of coverage. As far as how they connect, it is all a Velcro system, so depending on how you feel about Velcro, some people are a little adverse, but it works really well and really easy to attach, right? Because it's just a matter of just connecting up really easily. Definitely a one-man job, and from the outside you can see that it just sort of seals everything right down to the ground. You can imagine rain coming off. Once you have your little rain gutters here, all pegged down, no issues at all. I've had this in some pretty hectic storms, and it's held up really, really well. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of just how much space and floor room that you get. You can imagine I normally have 1 swag down the bottom there, 1 here and 1 there, and then you've still got all the space. It just gives you lots of flexibility on how you want to run this guy, especially when you're closing it all in. Well, there you go. I hope that gives you a bit of an overview. I reckon from here, let's start that clock again. Let's flick on over to the first person mode and get this guy all packed up. Right, so as far as pack up goes, I've cheated a little bit because I've got rid of these furniture there, but we just pull these plugs out and put them back in so they're nice and waterproof. We can pull this guy off as well. This thing's really cool. You can get them from Bushwhacker separately as well. So we'll just pop that aside. Now, normally you wouldn't have these up, but they just pull down nice and simply like that. I'll just pull them down because I want to try and like for like the pack up. So from here, the first thing to do, just get those poles up and away. They just simply clip in there just like that. Same story with this guy. They can just come down, twist, slide him in, and then up underneath. And then from here, it's just about coming around and doing our little end bits. So we can see this guy up here, we just push in there and that pulls that down. I just took him on there and then just walk him around. Once you get to about the 90-degree mark, about there, you just pause, come over here and grab the other one. Same sort of story as there before. We can just come up here, we can push that in, hold it a little bit of tension, walk it around, and then hook it up there again, just like that. We can then sort of walk him around. Now you get down to here. Now you want to go these guys in and then these guys. So get them at about halfway, get these guys in, push them all the way home. It'll feel like it's in nice and flat. Duck your head, get the other ones in. And then you should have kind of all the flaps all lined up here, just like that. Just sort of give them a bit of a pull so they're nice and flush there. And then from here, you want to sort of roll up nice and tight, focusing on the front here. Make sure you've got a nice tight roll there so that it's all nice and tucked up. Velcro number 1, sometimes you've sort of tucked in the Velcro, so you just got to pull him out of the way. Number 2 here as well. And then once you've found that one, we can come on down to the last one. At this point, I want to make sure that all the ropes are all included inside that Velcro so that they don't come flying out at you. But that's as simple as it gets, guys. It is pretty it is pretty straightforward. Once that is in, the final step is just flipping over your bag, and then depending on your preference, whether you have zips one end or the other, just want to make sure everything fits in there nicely. And it is as simple as that. A little bit more zip action, but there you go. It is as simple as that. So let's stop the clock and let's get over for our Quickfire pros and cons back on the main camera, and then we'll wrap up. So as far as Quickfire pros and cons go, pro number one for me is definitely the quality. You are paying at the top end of the market here for one of these guys, but you are getting what you pay for. Overall, everything is really good quality. Two, the fact that you get those lights that are included, for me, that's a bit of a game changer really for your setups, particularly if you're using a awning for your camping sort of every single time. Having lights inbuilt has saved my bacon a whole bunch of times when this lives in there and always comes with. So you make sure you always have some lights, and that's been pretty cool. And finally, if I had to pick a third, I think I would go with the fact that it is the most freestanding that I've come across so far. But this guy here definitely is very strong with that endo frame and the big stainless steel brackets to be pretty well fully self-supporting. From a cons perspective, probably the number one thing for me, which is relatively minor, depends on how you look at it, is these brackets. Whilst they're super strong, the powder coating on them is just pretty ordinary. And for paying a premium price point that you are for this awning, I just would have expected a better coating on there. You can solve it easily with a bit of a lick of paint, that kind of thing, but that's definitely a con in my book. There really isn't too much else in the way of cons with it. If I was being super picky, I'd probably say the fact that the walls you got to pay extra for, but you got to pay extra for all of them, right? The other thing is just around the Velcro. Not really a con for me, because I find this works really well, and it's super easy to set up for one person. If Velcro is not your thing though, that may be a con for you, but like I said, and like I showed you there before, it's super easy to set up, so it works for me. Well, that's it for another trip ready review, guys, of the Bushwacka 270-degree extreme darkness awning. I hope you found that helpful. Just a reminder, I have done a bit of a scout for you, and if you're looking to pick one of these up, make sure you check out the link in the video description of one of the best places where you can pick one of these up for yourself. Thank you very much, as always, to the patrons of Video Show Me How, guys. As always, extra support, thank you very much. If you are looking to get involved over there and maybe flick a couple of bucks to help me produce content just like this for you guys, and you find it helpful, head on over to patreon.com/VideoShowMeHow. We do some giveaways over there for patrons and some perks for getting involved. Of course, check out the channel for more trip ready reviews and how-to videos just like this one. Subscribe if you haven't already. But other than that, guys, as always, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.